Welcome back to the rendezvous. Glad you're back. I'm glad to be here, and I hope you are too. So last week I managed to get away to our cabin up on the Glen Highway here in Alaska. Springtime, and time for all the waterfowl and migratory birds to be heading to my pond. So when I got there, I was a little disappointed because there was only just half a dozen ducks or, various ducks on it. And that's not what I wanted to see, but there was still a lot of ice. It was probably a third ice, a third of it was covered in ice at that time. And so it's understandable. They don't want to land on ice. Sometimes it's kind of hazardous when you do that. But I hung around, and then I discovered that those swans that I saw last week, they were still there. That pair of Trumpeter Swans, and they were still there, and I decided to put my focus on them for this stay at the cabin. I was only there 3.5, 4 days, something like that. So I focused on the swans, and I'm really, really glad I did. I kind of ignored the pretty little ducks, but they understood that. They said it was okay. So anyway, so I have a little hiding spot out there, and I go there, and it's kind of I don't know. I like to think they don't know that I'm there, but kind of I think they do know. They're just putting up with me. I wear my homemade camo. I look kind of ridiculous when I'm out there, I'm pretty sure. But I'm glad I'm all alone. Nobody ever sees me, hardly. Anyway, those swans were beautiful, the pair of swans, and they just swam around out there and let me take their picture a lot. And I got some really nice portrait style pictures of them that are really beautiful and really well detailed. And I was taking my time shooting these pictures. I didn't get in a hurry, and I watched my backgrounds. I was really being careful with it. And I was rewarded because these portrait style ones, man, they came out nice. And you're seeing a few of those, as I'm talking here. They're so beautiful. Those birds are so beautiful and so delicate, I guess, and they have a lot of prestige. I don't know, something like that, but they're real classy swans. That's what they are, these Trumpeter Swans. And they're so slow moving and so relaxed for the most part. Sometimes you can get them pretty excited, but for the most part, they're just relaxed and peaceful. It was so peaceful watching them and photographing them, just letting them swim slowly into my viewfinder before I snapped the picture. It was such a relaxing time. And I spent the first day, that would have been Friday, I guess it was. I got there Thursday, but I didn't really start taking pictures until Friday. And I just spent that whole day taking portrait style pictures of them. And it was really nice. And I came back, of course, in the cabin, and I looked at them, on my camera, and I was thinking, man, these are nice. And the next day was Saturday, and so I went out there, and at first I didn't see them. I thought they'd left overnight. They do that. They usually stay about a week, and they'd already been there a week. So I thought they had already left in the night, and I was kind of disappointed. But all of a sudden, I was trying to change positions in my little blind, and because I was getting kind of cramped. And I sat up, and holy cow, there they were about 20 feet from me in the pond, just browsing and just swimming real slow and just eating. And there they were. And I had to hold still because I was right in plain sight to them at that time. And I probably was motionless for maybe 5 minutes, maybe longer. It was hard to do. They would, once in a while, they'd glance at me, but go right back to eating. So I photographed them a little more, and then they swam. They swam down to the west end of the pond. I'm at the east end, and they swam to the west end, and I was watching them, and then all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh, these guys are getting ready to take off. They have this little ceremony they do before they take off. They swim back and forth in tandem, and then they're bobbing their heads and do a little honk once in a while, and I've learned that that's when they're going to take off. And so I looked down at my camera, and I was way off in the settings I needed to get these birds, as they took off. And I quickly changed settings, and got all the right focusing information put up, in the camera, and checked the shutter speed and everything. And I scooted out real slowly, and I was just watching them for a while. I didn't have a long time to get my camera set up, probably 3 minutes. That was the most. And then I seen they were getting ready. They came into their little spot where they usually take off from. These swans have been coming, I'm 90% sure it's the same pair of swans. They've been coming to our cabin for the last, 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, probably 4 years. They've been here. They've been coming every spring to our cabin and just spending a week there. And then they take off and head on north to bigger ponds. Anyway, I watched them, and yep, they were getting ready. So I got my camera up. I had it, set to a high speed shutter, and I was all set. And the minute they lifted off, I started. I got them in the screen and pressed the shutter down, and just let her down, just left it down, and tried to keep focused on them the whole way as they came towards me. There was 38 photos before the buffer was filled up, and I quit, but it was just about the right time. That camera, I think, shoots 10 frames a second, so I had about 4 seconds. And they turned out great. I was really surprised how well those pictures turned out. And so I edited them a little bit, and I put them in a sequence for you to look at. I really enjoyed doing this sequence. So let's just take a look at that right now, and then we'll come back and I'll talk a little bit more. All right, here we go. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was just so beautiful, and I spent a lot of time on that, and I hope it was worth it. I hope you really enjoyed that. Like I said, it's so wonderful to be out watching these birds and being out in the almost the middle of nowhere and having it just so peaceful and being able to see stuff like that. Now, if you've never seen swans lift off from a body of water, if you've never been able to watch that, I got a little surprise for you here. This is a clip. I'm going to show you a little clip I've got. I took this in 2022, I think it was May 10th. So it was almost exactly the same time of year that I made this sequence for this video. Now, this is from about the same vantage point, but I've got my video camera out by the pond and I just left it there. I used to leave it there for a couple hours at a time and just get whatever I could get after and then I go in the cabin and just leave the camera out there running. Anyway, this is a short, I made a video of it. It's somewhere in my videos. It's called Swan Ballet or something like that. But anyway, it's a real long video and it doesn't get many views. But I just took the lift off from these swans. They swam down there and lifted off. And so I'm going to show you that short clip of them taking off so you'll see what it actually looks like. Now, this is, like I said, from the same vantage point as the pictures I showed you in this other sequence previously. Almost exactly the same spot I was in for those, except the camera was a little higher on a tripod. So yeah, this is really fun to watch. So yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. Here we go. Wasn't that fun? They're so fun to watch. Now, if you watch the whole little shot, a little video, and at the end you'll hear them honk. They're clear out of sight, but they do some honking. They do that every single time they take off. They give that little honk, and I don't know. Maybe they're saying goodbye to me. I don't know, but it was fun to watch. So, yeah. That's what it sounds like and looks like when those guys lift off. It's really exciting to watch. Now, I did make a print. And I'm going to show it to you now, and I'm going to talk about it. And it's a beautiful print, actually. I'm real pleased with it. So, yeah, now we're going to go look at this print. I'm going to talk about it, and then we'll come back and close this video out. All right, here we go. Well, for this video, I had a pretty hard time choosing a picture to make a print out of. I ended up with this one right here because, well, truthfully, I really liked this picture. I had a lot of good shots of the takeoff sequence, and I studied those a lot. Even printed one of those, truthfully. But I kept coming back to this one of the swan portrait right here. I love this picture. Now, I took this from a little hidey place I have on the pond. I'm laying down on the shoreline on my side. I have my camera rested on a little rolled up pad that I have, and so it's not truthfully freehand. And I guess this is she. I'm going to call it a she because it looks like a girl, actually. But she was feeding, her and her mate were feeding in the pond there. And they're real slow feeders, these birds are. They take a long time to change the locations. So her and her mate was just behind her there. They would stay in that spot and dip their heads under the water, getting the vegetation under the water. And she had just raised her head up when I snapped the shutter on this picture right here. I always think they don't see me, but looking at her eyes, I'm thinking she might know exactly where I'm at there. But anyway, she wasn't too afraid of me. It's a great picture, and I love it. I love the detail in it. In fact, right here, let me just show you an enlarged version of this that I put together. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Look at that. Look at that detail. That water droplets, her eyes, the water dripping off of her beak into the other water, and the water on her feathers. There's so much detail here, and I just love this picture. It came out so nice. Anyway, that's the one I selected. This is printed on a Epson fine art paper, cold press natural. Paper size is 13 by 19, and the image size is 12 by 18. I'm definitely going to save this print here. And the camera data, I'm going to put that up on the screen here right now, right for you to read. And that way I don't have to stumble through reading it on my little notepad that I've written and can't even read what I've written. So here it is, and you can get all the information you need there. Now, you'll notice it says this was shot at, I think, 900 millimeter. The reason for that is I was shooting with my 200 to 500 lens, and I had the camera set on the, I don't know what it's called, mode. Anyway, it enlarges 1.3 over what the image is, so it came out to 900 millimeter. That's a big lens right there. And I love the bokeh. It's just beautiful. For 5.6 aperture, I don't think you could ask for better bokeh than that. I kind of love this lens. Anyway, so that's my print for today. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to put it like every week. I put all my pictures on each video on a SmugMug gallery, and I'll leave the link below in the description. So you can go there and see this print, plus all the others that you'll see here on this video today. Anyway, I hope you like this, and let's get back, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about my experiences at the cabin. Let's go on back. All right then. That was nice. That was a nice print. I really like that print. I'm going to do something with it. I don't know what. But that's about my video for today. I'm going to just close out here and let you guys take a break from me, I guess, for a while. I got another video coming up next Saturday if everything goes like I hope it does. Anyway, you guys take care, and I'll see you again. Bye now.